Right, I hope you are now able to see my screen. Right, so what we're going to do is that I'm going to do a quick recap of what we did last time. The purpose is that there are new participants who are joining us for the first time, and they don't know what the program is about. They are keen on joining in the program, for example, signing up as well as register in the CDELTA platform. So I'm going to take you through that process. Also, for those who joined us last time, perhaps you have challenges in signing up. We will try and see if we can try to resolve the challenges that you experience and take you through the process. Thereafter, we're going to then embark on our session today, which is a very short session. The purpose of these sessions is that we showcase to you, or we take you through some of the activities that are part of the modules that you study in the CDELTA program. Right. So this is the CDELTA program, which stands for Commonwealth Digital Education Leadership Training in Action. It's a program which promotes digital education in the Commonwealth nations, of which South Africa is one, as you know, is one of the Commonwealth countries. Right, so it's not only about promoting digital education, but most importantly, it's about producing leaders in the field of digital education. So as you are here, the intention is that you become a digital education leader where you are. Right, so that is the overarching goal for this program. Right. I'm not going to go through all the slides because this was last week's presentations, but as I've mentioned, for our newcomers, the benefits for the CDELTA program is to introduce you to set of tools as well as knowledge pertaining to digital education and digital literacy. It is a program both for teachers and students. It is about creating lifelong learners. There are even more benefits, like one would ask, okay, what is in it for me? Yes, I'm rushing through the certification. When you complete the program, meaning you complete the 7 modules, you would receive a 35 CPTD SACE endorsed points plus a CDELTA International Recognized Certificate. So here are the steps which are very important. Just want to take you through the steps. Here are the steps. There you go. Right. So this is the part that I want, and then we move on to our next presentation. So for you to take part in the CDELTA program, you need to register, right? You register by signing up in the platform. Once you have registered, you need to write a pre-test. It's compulsory. Once you have written a pre-test, for our own administration, we would like you to share with us a screenshot of your pre-test certificate. Now, for you to obtain a certificate, you need to pass the pre-test. So if you don't pass the pre-test, you can retake it as many times as you need until you get a 50% score. I think even if you get 40% and above, you do receive a certificate. You email your pre-test certificate to us. That's very important. Then you move on in studying the course, which has 7 modules for educators. And what is lovely about this program is that the pre-test informs you where are the gaps in terms of your digital education. So you study what you want to study. You don't necessarily have to study everything if there are specific content that you already know, right? Once you've studied the course, at any point, you can take on your post-test, which is the final test. Once you have taken the post-test, again, for our own administration at SchoolNet, we would like you to share with us your post-test certificate as an artifact that you have taken the course and you have successfully completed you have successfully completed the course. Once you have sent us through the post-test, that is when we are able to send you your SACE endorsed certificate. So with your post-test, you receive the international certificate as well as the 35 CPTD points, right? And then there is a possibility of being invited to attend a master training. But you do by invite, let me just say so. And once you are trained as a master trainer, you do the implementation where you train at least 20 teachers and 20 students. Of course, this is the minimum. Then you are crowned as a master trainer for this program. Right, so this is how you take part. Just important elements here is that of a pre-test as well as a post-test. I just want to quickly find out from you if I like to believe some of you attended our previous session. Have you done the pre-test, or let me just start from the beginning? Have you registered? Can you type a Y to indicate that you have registered, and a Y with a P to indicate that you have registered and you have taken your pre-test, so that we have an indication of how we are progressing and if there is any kind of assistance that we can offer to you, we are able to do so. Right. I'm now going to exit my screen unless there is a question. Is there any questions? If you have questions, if you have a question, you can raise up your hand. Zodumo will notify me if there is a hand up, or alternatively, you can just unmute yourself and ask the question. Right, while you type your question, let me exit the screen because I want to quickly copy this address and do a real-time demo on this one. Right, so let's just proceed to our activity today. Right, as I've mentioned earlier on that the purpose of the sessions, these are mini sessions, and the purpose is to actually give you a taste of the content, so that you gain understanding of what kind of content is offered there. So today the learning outcomes, you will understand the dimensions of your digital footprints. Also expand your understanding of your digital identities, online profiles, and digital spaces, taking control of your online information. Finally, developing capacity to facilitate the development of healthy digital identities in others. So these are our outcomes for today's session. Right, I'm now going to play this video. Please do pay attention because I'm going to ask you questions after this video. If you want, you can take notes of your own takeaways as you are listening to the video. In fact, let me just ask the question so that as you listen as you listen to the video, you know exactly what the question is. The question is, what are your key takeaways on what Michelle is sharing on this video? Right. Let's.
For me to perform. And it's not because of the arrangement or the delivery, it's because of the content. Oftentimes, when we're faced with a truth that contradicts our current path, it's difficult to accept because it's hard to make certain behavioral changes, but it is possible. The piece is called Digital Footprints. Just as our carbon footprints impact our physical environment, our digital footprints can impact our personal livelihood. It's interesting that they call it the World Wide Web because like foolhardy flies, we all ultimately get trapped. But it's imperative that when we surf, we start using our head to proactively protect and navigate our own social map. Sign in, username, password, click. Whew, now I'm safe. Not necessarily, because our every interface on a digital device is recorded somewhere, and you better believe there's a price. It is not enumerated in dollars and cents. It's a more constant currency in the form of a digital footprint. When we make our lives public, it's hard to keep a secret. Billions of people access the internet, and not everything gets deleted. Don't quite believe me? Well, let's take a walk down that path and let's see what you learn from your social graph. It's the global mapping of everyone and how they're related. Your friends, your family, the questionable people you've dated. In cyberspace, a visible history of our lives and interests has accumulated, and there are serious consequences for leaving our thoughts and actions ungated. Still not convinced? Well, I've seen it with my own eyes. A young, intelligent high school student ahead of him his whole life, accepted to an Ivy League school, but had his admission rescinded. Let's just say what was on his profile page could not be commended. And it's not just universities. It can be utilized by inquiring employers. You think they don't do their research? They're quality control voyeurs, something we view as harmless, freedom of self-expression. From a professional perspective, you'll be fired, no question. Whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, before we upload, download, type on those keys, press enter, we need to slow down. Take time, think, consider. How will this instant information impact our hopes and our dreams? How could this careless communication be interpreted or released? What's the solution, you ask? How can we really be safe? Well, if there are aspects of our lives we want private, then we should keep it that way. We do not need to post every part of our pedestrian progressions, and we don't have to constantly coexist solely via internet connection. There is a whole world out there. We can hear, see, smell, touch, and taste it. The chain tying you to that screen, antiquated. Written in pencil, erase it. And when we do sign in again, we'll be thoughtful, we'll use tact, because we understand our digital decisions can have a lasting impact. Life has no Apple or Control Z. You can't take everything back. The internet is a remarkable resource, and if we make intelligent choices now, there'll be no need for recourse, especially if we empower ourselves to censor what we enter on our keyboards. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Right. So this is the kind of content that is offered by CDELTA program. This one is extracted from module 4. Yes, module 4, which is activity 2.1. So it's just to give you an overview of the concepts that contain in that particular module. Right, so let's talk your key takeaways from Michelle Clark's. What are your key takeaways from what she shared with us? Gone are the times where we think when we go online and whatever we type, it's private to us, or it's private information. It's not the case. it's public information. So that's one of the things that Michelle is advocating here in this video, that nothing is private actually. So we need to be careful. We need to be careful when we are using internet, especially social media, as you put it. Right. Anyone else before we proceed? Any takeaways? All right, let's proceed. All right, in this is a summary of Michelle's talk. Is that business have access to your private information? Nowadays, when you apply for a job, it's not only your CV that counts, but businesses, they investigate you online to find more information about you, which is perhaps not in your CV. In fact, I read a quotation somewhere which says, your online profile would carry more weight than your CV in the coming future. In fact, it's not in the coming future, in the near future, your online profile, your digital footprint would be carrying more weight than the CV that you send when you apply for a job. Right. Once online information is up, it's always up. Even if you have deleted it yourself, but it's still there. For example, you find you when there are cases, you find that the IT people are able to retract information that one thought it's deleted, it will never be recovered, but boom, it's there. Right. Hard to keep a secret once information about you is online. And then the question is, how does or could what you post impact your dreams? We're looking at identity theft and identity manipulation. This is real, where you find that people are using, you find individuals who are using other people's identity, like digital identity or online identity. You would see notices from people to say, you know what, that's not me, that's not my account. I would have to delete my account because someone has stolen my profile. In fact, I once experienced, not directly, I once experienced this, where I received an email, a formal email from one of my acquaintances, who was asking me for a loan to pay me. And he said, I'm having a problem, ABC, can you loan me some? And I was like, I found that's very strange because I know the person. I was like, okay, what's going on here? It sounded very sincere, but at the same time, it's so unlike the person I know. And shortly after that, I received a call from the person and said, please ignore that email. I have been there's someone who has actually given me heads up that there is this there's this email that is going around. So yeah, this is a reality. Vulnerability to online trolls. Nowadays, in the 21st century, there are people who have found new hobbies, amusement in hurting people online, and we experience mob shaming, which is a huge thing in nowadays. So these are the kind of activities that can have a negative impact on your dreams, which can actually have an effect on, finding a job or landing to a promotion because of that. And we find that the young people are at the center of this, particularly girls, where they experiment with self-commodification, which is something that is a reality in today's or in this day. So our digital footprints are huge, and we need to actually manage them. Right. So let's think about what we do when participating digitally, right? Because you may think, you know what, Hlengi, this doesn't affect me. But hang on a second and let's try and unpack this. Let's look at the process that you go through when you engage online, right? We will not, take it from the beginning where it's where you are searching for information, but we will look at it in the perspective of various networks which are available. Now, I just want to find out from you, what are online networks? Anyone? You can remember I mentioned that using a chat is one way of engaging with us. So you can use a chat to type in what you think are online networks. Remember, the key word there is what you think, is not what online networks are. Right. So let's hear from you. What do you think are online networks? So by online networks, we're looking at various platforms that gather all the users, of similar likes. It can be content-based, it can be specific subjects, it can be communities, people, who I'm thinking of people who have similar interest on specific hobby. It can be specific career path. So all those are online social networks. Sorry, online networks. And then there are different types of these networks: social, communication, open, collaboration, subject area. Then we look at social. Celo has actually provided us with some of the examples which falls under social, like WhatsApp, that's social, Facebook, that's social. But some of the platforms can be multi-purpose, or they can play more than one type. So I'm trying to think of other networks as examples, like Microsoft Educator Center. That's another type of network. LinkedIn, it's another type of network. Anyone who'd like to add to this list? Anyone? There are so many of these. Like if you look at my diagram on the right-hand side, we have Twitter, we have YouTube, we have Google. There are so many. So all those are online networks. But when I'm saying Google has a component of like Google Classroom could be one of those. We have Google Plus, where you can invite other people to have access to your photographs, so all those are examples of online networks. Now, while we are on the topic of online networks, we have the PLNs. We have professional learning networks. What are professional learning networks? How are they different from, they are one type of online networks. What are professional learning networks? And why is it important for someone who is a digital education leader to belong to professional learning networks?
Can I give it a try?
Yes, yes.
All right, thank you. I think professional learning networks are more of a social networking, but they are strictly for professional stuff, such as, let's say, acquiring new knowledge, as supporting one another professionally.
Mhm.
So I think the example of professional networks, like, it can be the likes of Google Classroom, among others.
Mm, mm, exactly, exactly that. So, in fact, when you read through the digital framework, you would learn that it's important for all educators to belong to a number of professional learning networks. It's very important. As you say, I like to believe it's you again, Silo. As you say that it's actually a development. It allows us to learn new information, knowledge, and to share ideas. It's not only about learning, but also it's about sharing our expertise. So it's important to belong to these learning networks. Right, here is an activity. The activity, this activity is a follow-on activity from a previous activity whereby we investigate a digital footprint of of a celebrity, right? But this time, we thought, okay, how about you investigate your own digital footprint, your own professional learning network, so that you are able to take control, you are able to manage it, you're able to shape it the way you want it. Because whether you managing it or not, it's out there. And if you're not managing it, it will take a form that is not desirable to you. So it's important that you understand what is out there about you. Now the question is, what does Google say about you? So let's take our cell phones, and we go to Google, and then you type in your name, and let's see what pops up. We go to Google. Let me do that myself quickly. Doesn't take long. So,
Uh,
what do you see?
we tap like name and say name, right?
Yes, you type your name and surname.
Okay.
I'm typing
So I
mine.
I got a lot of information regarding my name and surname, meaning that there are some of the Ishmael Silo out there, but I
Mhm.
also got a lot of information about myself.
There you go. Do you care to share? Or let me ask you this question. Are you happy with what you see there?
Yes, of course. With myself, when it comes to social media platforms or online, I'm very much sensitive, like you said, with the digital footprint. That sometimes when you apply for different companies, you find that they go to online, they also check your digital footprint there, because that is what actually kill many people when it comes to opportunities. Because when people goes there, they realize that on Facebook or on social media platforms, you always post irrelevant stuff. It means you are not competent enough. So as for myself, I'm very much sensitive when it comes to that. So I can share the information I got about myself.
Hmm. Now,
Uh,
tell me, Ishmael, is it representing the Ishmael as you are in all spheres, or is just glimpse? Is it you who posted the information you see, or it's other people who posted information about you?
uh, it's not actually the information in all spheres around myself, but
Mhm.
some of the information they are not posted by myself, but I can see they are about myself. Here it says that affiliated with the University of Limpopo, of which I was recently affiliated to. It says that my research interest is technology education, of which is my specialization. I did a postgraduate on technology education. So this is not posted by myself, but some they are posted by myself. I see on Google Scholar I'm also there. I don't know what I want there. I'm on Facebook, I'm on ResearchGate, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram. I also see my photos. I'm not sure whether they are from which social media platforms, but I can also see my photos there.
Wonderful, wonderful. You have a good looking digital footprint. However, what else do you want Google to say about you? Because you can channel that. What else are you involved in? What else are you doing that you remember? Your digital footprint is now your CV. It's some people, they may think it's boasting. It's like blowing your own trumpets. Not really, because your digital footprint says like your CV. So what is it that you want Google to say about you? Think about it. And then
for my side,
yes, I'm listening.
Okay, for my side, I will actually like it to share more information about myself, of which actually I'm doing currently. Like I'm involved in a number of organizations, a number of foundations whereby I'm doing different stuff. But when I go to internet, the content is not there. So perhaps I would like it to be added there so that if some people wanted to know more about me and that particular foundation or organization, they can just go to internet, they get the information about it.
Exactly. Now you see, you see how you can actually. It's good to promote yourself. It's really good because it's also about sharing. It's also letting other people know that you have this kind of information, so you can be their source where possible. But what is important here is that we take control of what is out there about ourselves, which is really important. All right. So it's not only about us. Remember, the program's goal is to produce digital education leaders. Now, for you, because as we are here, we really want to be education leaders or digital education leaders. Now, we don't necessarily need to first complete the program, but we've already started, to portray those leadership traits. Now, as a leader, you don't only think about yourself, but also you think about other people who are around you. But with technology, it's not only about people who are around you, but it's all about people where you then, okay, how can I contribute? How can I conscientize other people about the information that I know? So given what we now know, it's just one activity. Of course, obviously, as you study the material, you would learn more about this topic. So given what we now know as digital education leaders, how do we ensure that other leaders or other stakeholders, for example, students or policymakers, facilitators, our colleagues, develop capacity to both develop and facilitate others in developing healthy digital identities? How can we promote or how can we influence other leaders or other stakeholders in developing healthy digital identities? Angel, do you want to share with us?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've registered to Microsoft Educator Center.
Right.
So I've earned some certificates, lots of certificates there. So I've also recorded my points to CPTD.
Wonderful.
So now I have a lot of points at the moment, and only to find that most of my colleagues, they still have like something like 0 or 30 or 20. So that was also so embarrassing for me to like have high scores, and then my colleagues, they have only 10 or 0. So I started to workshop them on CPTD, how to record points, and now they are more interested like to record their points. If they went to workshops, they do something and they are improving. So yeah, helping others, it's also good. We also feel good. You've done something rather than be the only one who's got a lot of scores and then the rest they don't have. So yeah.
True. Hmm. Very true. And Plus, Angel, what do you plan to do now that you have this information and you will be learning more from this program?
Oh, okay. So I'm also planning my second workshop where I will ask them or encourage them to register for CDELTA,
Mm-hmm.
Cisco,
Mm-hmm.
PLC,
Starting
and also
with the part.
and also and also Microsoft Educator Center. So I am about to introduce all those platforms to them.
Oh, yeah, wonderful. Great stuff. You mentioned that you have registered, but you haven't taken your pre-test, right?
Yes,
And after this session, you will be doing your pre-test, which is only an hour to complete.
yes, of course.
Great stuff. Do share with us how you're progressing with that. Okay, great stuff. Let's move on to our last task, which I'd like to take it as a challenge, perhaps as homework. Yeah, this is our homework for today's session. Let me take it to presentation mode. Right, so I would like you to further analyze your digital footprint, right? So look at all the spaces that you've been online, right? You can decide how far back you want to track this. Now, the activity requires you to create a mind map which showcases your digital presence. So we want you to go to a drawing board here, and then you do this analysis. You can create categories like your personal searches. What you do there when you do your personal searches, what do you search for? Perhaps it's academic searches, or you search for information that you need to use for your subject area. And then you also have another category for your PLNs, which PLNs, as you have shared with us, which PLNs have you subscribed to? What do you do there in those PLNs? Or you are, consuming information there? Because that will also make you realize, okay, it's enough. Perhaps it's time for me to also share something. And then lesson planning, you also have another category for social media, another category for this one falls under personal. Under personal, you do your online banking, your online shopping, and perhaps your booking your holidays online and so forth. So do this mind map and see exactly how your digital footprint looks like and how you want to how you want to improve what is there in that digital map. Like Ishmael, you've shared with us, and you have identified how else you want to improve your digital footprint. Like, for example, you want to share more about the work that you do with various people, right? I'm sure every one of us, you can think of what you want to do. There is so much already that we do, but it's not out there. It's not out there. So it's important that we map this. It is out there, because there will be a time where, there will be an opportunity, and that opportunity, they only use your digital footprint to qualify you, and you find that you do qualify. It's just that it's not there. So it is important to take control of your digital footprint, and that your digital footprint reflects exactly who you are, as well as your aspirations. Right. So yeah, that is the end of our activities today. Very nice short activities. It's just a snippet of what is in the modules, different modules. So in the coming week again, we will meet, and we will also identify another unit, or another topic that we will facilitate with you. Also, that will assist you, in fast tracking your studying, because this one, you've done it with me, and perhaps it has aroused an interest to go there and check what is happening in module 4, and and then you proceed with your studies. Remember, I wanted to showcase to you, how do you register. I'm just checking. I'm checking if the page has loaded. Let me change a browser. Maybe I'm going to Win. If I am not, then right, it looks like it's coming, slowly coming. The weather is not great, so I noticed that when the weather is cold, the internet slows down as well. Right, while my page is loading, is there anyone who tried to sign up and experienced challenges, and then they said, you know what, no, I can't. Let's share. If we are good, we successfully registered. This is the link, or the URL that you use to sign up. In fact, this platform, it's also can be one of your PLNs. There's so much that you can learn from the CDELTA platform. There are quite a number of resources that you can find useful for you as well as your colleagues. What we would like you to share with us is your pre-test certificate. That will, please do share it with us. Also,
So, and then,
just share everything that, for example, when you have registered, send us an email that I have successfully registered. Now I'm planning to take on my pre-test. Just share how you're progressing. We'd love to hear that.
all right, lovely. Yeah, I wanted to also check something. What was that? You interrupted me.
I'm so
I don't
sorry.
remember. I'll remember. Don't worry.
I'm sorry. Let's hope before we end the session you would remember. Any other questions? Apparently, my page is taking ages to load, and I don't think we will be able to do this today. Anyways, we will. I will take you through this next time. when we have our session. Please follow us on our social media for our upcoming sessions, and do join us in. We really appreciate you joining our sessions.
All right, I remember, thank you.